Ethereum could hit $16,000. That's not my price target. That's straight from Tom Lee, Fundstrat's top Wall Street analyst, who just went on CNBC and said all of Wall Street right now is running to ETH. Pause for a second and ask yourself, if ETH goes to $16,000, what happens to our precious altcoins? But he didn't stop there. Tom's now telling serious investors to put at least 20% of their portfolio into ETH and crypto because Wall Street's already made up its mind. Ethereum is where they're building the next financial system. What's playing out behind the scenes is way bigger than any price target. In today's show, you'll see how Wall Street's quietly scooping up Ethereum, shrinking the supply, and setting us up for a wild altcoin season in October. We're here, guys. All right, before we jump into ETH, let's get back into what's moving the markets today, because that's setting up ETH and the rest of the market for a major run. Right now, the market is starting to price in up to 75 basis points of Fed rate cuts this year, guys. Woo! With 50 basis points likely coming as soon as September. Polymarket says 25 basis points. Other things say 50. When interest rates start dropping, no, scratch that. Before they even start dropping, risk assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of alt markets will start to price that in. Remember, markets are forward looking. All we need to know is that it's likely to happen, and boom, markets react. Just look at Ethereum Network's daily transactions. They just hit a new all-time high, 1.74 million in a single day, breaking the previous 2021 record, and we're just getting started. July set the largest monthly transaction total in Ethereum's history, and the number of active addresses is climbing toward its all-time high as well. Wonder where all that activity is coming from? People are waking up to ETH once again, and here's why, guys. More than a dozen public companies have adopted the ETH treasury strategies, pushing total public company ETH holdings above $7.5 billion. And it's not just Wall Street or the crypto elite getting more bullish. US politicians are in the mix too. Senator Lummis is now calling for the US to sell gold and buy Bitcoin to build a national Bitcoin reserve. Sure, we've been waiting to hear this for months now, but check this. Now the Fed is actually considering it. And if that wasn't already big enough reason to get you bullish, check this out. Trump is reportedly set to sign an executive order that will allow private equity, real estate, crypto, and other alternative assets, including Bitcoin and ETH, directly inside 401k retirement plans. For context, about 37% of the entire US stock market sits inside retirement funds like 401ks. That's approximately $12 trillion. If crypto gets whitelisted in 401ks, which it will, you're about to hear from Eric Trump in just a second, that's trillions in passive capital that could start flowing into Bitcoin and ETH automatically every single year. Nothing stops this train, guys. This would become a non-stop bid and permanently change the market structure for good. Even on chain, you can see the dynamic. Retail wallets who have been panicking over the little dip that we just saw, they've been selling ETH, but larger holders, the people in the know, they're quietly loading up and backing up the truck. It's the old same story, guys. Institutions are stacking while most folks are distracted by the headlines, but not you guys, not my audience. You guys are very, very sharp, and you've been stacking Ethereum and Bitcoin for a long time, right? But to put this all together, and you can feel that we're not just talking about crypto anymore. The Fed, Congress, Wall Street, and the global treasury world are all colliding in real time. Just yesterday, we spoke about how the US isn't alone and other countries are all starting to pile in. The next wave isn't just a supply squeeze. It's a total reset in how money and capital will flow for the next decade. Check this out, guys. This makes me pretty happy to see this. So you see, this is Don Trump Jr., who says, "We went all in on crypto, debanked, sued, shut out of legacy finance. We realized the financial system was undemocratic. The answer is crypto. We got in out of necessity. Not because it was cool, because it made sense. This is exactly what we're talking about. I mean, this is why all the time I try to remember about All Street, guys. We're watching this in real time, breaking down of the old legacy financial system that was meant to keep you out. It's phenomenal. Like, this is really going to change the life and future of everyone around the world as long as you're participating, as long as you take the time to learn. Watch channels like this, study the markets, study geopolitics, study macroeconomics. The things that we talk about every day on this channel allow you to get ahead of everybody else. Now, guys, let's switch gears to ETH. While people are distracted by day-to-day price swings, and today it's looking pretty good, right? ETH is looking up like 7% as of time recording. A wave of public companies are quietly buying ETH and locking it up for good. Since June, just a couple of months, these Ethereum treasury firms have scooped up 1.6% of the total supply. That's over $15 billion, matching the ETF inflows, which is honestly massive, and an early warning sign on where we are headed. Standard Chartered is now calling these treasury firms very investable. Did you hear that? Their playbook is simple. Accumulate as much ETH as possible, deploy it into staking and DeFi, and grow their ETH per share holdings every quarter. SharpLink Gaming, for example, reports ETH per share growth on their quarterly calls. Now, every earnings season is just an update on how much ETH they control. And as we covered yesterday, BitMine's goal is to own 5% of all ETH, which is absolutely wild. Their strategy is simple: stack, stake, raise, rinse, wash, repeat. The impact shows in the numbers. Right now, 7.2% of all ETH is in the hands of treasury companies, ETFs, and long-term wallets. It's a huge amount. That's over $50 billion locked away. That's a higher percentage than in any previous cycle, and this one's just getting started. And if you're only paying attention to crypto Twitter and what the other influencers are telling you about how ETH is slow and stupid and Solana is fast and cheap and everything like that, it's pretty apparently clear right now that Ethereum is the institutional chain. And this is where all the bids are going to come. BlackRock has planted their flag into it, and now all these treasury companies are as well. We've talked about the why, and now let's take a closer look how quickly all of this is unfolding, because it's happening at breakneck speed. Cosmos Health, a company trading on NASDAQ, just secured $300 million to launch its ETH treasury strategy as well. That's exactly what Tom Lee meant when he said that Wall Street is rushing into ETH. Bit Digital is another name people need to watch. They're sitting on over $100 million in ETH and now publish monthly yield reports so investors can see exactly what's happening on chain. The CEO is turning into a public flex, challenging competitors, show me yours and I'll show you mine. And the competition is getting creative. GameSquare Holdings is taking it to another level, targeting between 8 to 14% returns on ETH. Their team allocates across DeFi protocols, stablecoins, NFTs, and uses advanced trading systems that automatically scan hundreds of pools for the best yield. That's the real power of ETH. All you need to do is hold while it does the heavy lifting to drive your business forward. And it's not just companies getting aggressive. Tom Lee is putting his reputation behind a 20% allocation to ETH and crypto for every young investor trying to build a serious portfolio. And he's clear. Wall Street is choosing Ethereum as the backbone for the next financial era. If you want to see how much conviction is in this trade, look at the NAV multiple. This is just the ratio between the company's market value and the ETH it holds. Right now, firms like SharpLink Gaming are trading at a NAV multiples just above 1, which tells you investors are willing to pay a premium for future ETH growth and on-chain yield. If you need further proof the appetite isn't slowing down, SharpLink just raised another $200 million today. Standard Chartered's analysts point out that treasury companies can access staking and DeFi rewards directly, unlike ETFs, making the premium worth it for them. Look, we've seen this for Bitcoin, right? We've seen the massive demand from treasury companies in the ETFs for Bitcoin. We're going to see it now for Ethereum as well. Maybe not to the extent of Bitcoin, but it's going to be huge. Ethereum's momentum right now is absolutely next level. But that's just the start of something even bigger. Let's start with the supply side. VanEck's latest inflation chart shows that for the first time ever, Ethereum's net supply growth has dropped below Bitcoin's. Net supply growth is how fast new ETH is added to the circulation, after subtracting what gets burned or taken out of the system. Since March 2023, ETH's net supply has hovered near zero or even gone negative in some weeks, making it deflationary and ultra sound money. And Vanek now says ETH may yet prove to be a better asset than Bitcoin. That's pretty crazy. I don't know about that, but that's what Vanek says. That's a direct quote from a legacy Wall Street giant. Momentum is building across more than just supply numbers. Ethereum's share of all crypto social activity just hit 14.35%, the highest in more than a year, according to Lunar Crush. This spike is being powered by fresh headlines around ETH's expanding role in global capital markets and the surge in on-chain real-world assets. I know, guys, before there was a lot of people in the comments who told me when I talked about the rotation from Bitcoin and ETH that said, oh, it's going to be different this time. It's just going straight to Solana and Sui and everything else, right? The markets don't repeat, but they often rhyme. And that's exactly what we're seeing right here, right? And like I've said before, and the title of this video, ETH leads the altcoin rally. So if ETH goes to $16,000, do you know what's going to happen to our altcoins? Crazy. Next, guys, we've got tokenized stocks, and they're emerging as a major theme. The market for tokenized equities is up 220% in a single month. And the number of wallets holding these stocks just jumped from 1,600 to 90,000. Even if 1% of global equities moves on chain, which they all will move on chain, but just 1% is $1.3 trillion opportunity. And the lion's share will be on ETH. Regulatory momentum keeps fueling the story. Hong Kong is giving the green light for China's first regulated stablecoin, aiming to take the RMB on chain. Ethereum is already the top home for regulated stablecoins worldwide, so it could be a strong candidate for hosting this new stablecoin in China. And if that happens, it opens the door of a major new wave of capital to enter the Ethereum ecosystem from the Far East. And across the globe, Dubai just approved regulated options trading for Bitcoin and crypto, with Ethereum consistently ranking as the number 2 asset for institutional options globally. This opens the door for ETH derivatives and institutional flows to hit the Middle East's most dynamic market. I want to remind you guys of something that when we make these videos, right? We give you breaking news. And this breaking news doesn't always immediately translate into price action. I mean, we've been going pretty sideways and volatility as at basically all-time lows, but it's always the quietest before the storm and the dramatic price moves up, the violent price moves up. So just have some patience. When we see this, we can see what's going to happen ahead of the market. That's the whole objective of this channel, is to keep you guys ahead of everything else is going on. So just remember that. If you're seeing all this bullish news and wondering why that price isn't going up, it takes a while. And you guys, this is exactly what we're seeing in the data as well. The market's gotten quiet, almost too quiet. Right now, both Bitcoin and Ethereum are showing some of the lowest volatility we've seen in years. Just to explain, volatility is how much the prices move around, up or down. Low volatility means prices are holding steady without these big jumps or drops. Check this out. Bitcoin's 30-day realized volatility is sitting in the bottom 5% of all time since 2015. If you look at the options market, traders are basically betting that prices won't move much at all in the next month. That's what implied volatility means. It's the market's best guess about how wild price swings will be going forward. Right now, those numbers are at record lows, which shows people are getting really, really comfortable, almost too relaxed at a time when historically we tend to see big supply shock right after periods just like this. We've got quants like Jeff Park, head of alpha strategies at Bitwise. They're sounding the alarm. Historically, when volatility gets this low, when supply is being locked up, markets often set up for a massive move. If you want a preview of what could be coming for Ethereum, just look at Bitcoin's adoption curve. In countries like El Salvador, Nigeria, Turkey, Brazil, everyday people are already stacking Bitcoin at a crazy pace. Bitcoin is a few steps ahead, but history shows that Ethereum is now lining up for the same kind of global breakout. And guys, why did I talk about October as something and again, we're ahead of the markets, right? But check this out. October has been it's something like 88% of the time or something like that. October is a green month. And it really, really cranks in these bull markets. Look at last bull market, 40% in October. And the one before that, 47% 2017. And 2013, 60. These are all bull markets. 2013, 2017, 2021. Huge moves in October. If Ethereum pumps like crazy, imagine how much our altcoins are going to pump. And that's why it's good to position right now. And so what we'll be doing between now and October is making some videos about different ecosystems and some altcoins that we think will likely pump the hardest, the quickest, and kind of the safer plays. And maybe we'll throw in a couple more, risky plays as well. And then of course, as the market moves organically up the risk curve, we'll be covering that as well. If ETH goes to 16,000, imagine our precious altcoins. Here's what the charts are saying, guys. Right now, the total two, the chart tracking everything outside of Bitcoin, just formed a golden cross. That's the technical signal that usually kicks off altcoin rallies. At the same time, the Bitcoin dominance chart is rolling over with a death cross, which almost always signals that capital is rotating out of Bitcoin and into alts. Even the alt season index is sitting at the same levels we saw in early 2021, just before the last major rotation. The market feels quiet, but these crossovers and signals are almost always the mark of early stage and those major rallies that you always hear stories of. So if you've been wondering if it's too late to build your portfolio, if history repeats, this is the time you should be taking advantage of it. Pick your winners and ride them to Valhalla, guys. And before we continue, guys, just a quick word from our amazing channel sponsors. BloFin is a no KYC exchange, open to Americans, except for those in New York and Washington. Sorry, guys. Low fees and every trading pair you can want, all in one place. Deposit and receive, guys, up to 20% cash back on all your trading fees. And if you sign up with my link, send proof, and you'll get access to my private Telegram group. Altcoin season is coming, and I'll be sharing my best calls there. And you ever felt crypto rich, but your bank account telling you guys a different story? That's me for ages and still me right now. My portfolio looks great, but when it comes time to pay for dinner or groceries or coffee or flight, whatever, moving money around was always a hassle. Then I found Xapo. With Xapo card, I can load up with Bitcoin or stable coins and send them anywhere. Plus, it comes with a premium feeling black card so you can feel like a baller. No need to sell my crypto, no complicated transfers, just tap, pay, done. Anywhere Visa and MasterCard's accepted. High limits, real exchange rates, and up to 1% Bitcoin cash back. That is huge. And even daily interest on my cash. I can put cash in there, load it up, and I earn interest on it. Better than a bank account. Suddenly, my digital wealth feels a lot more real. Plus, if you guys sign up with my referral link and become a member, you can save $500. And yes, the card does cost $1,000. You save $500 with my account, so it's only $500, but you say it's better than every other card on exchange rates, so you end up saving that if you use the card frequently. So guys, hit the link in the description below, get your Xapo card, and unlock your crypto for real life use today. And now back to our very important show. Okay, let's bring this all home, guys. Tom Lee says Ethereum could hit $16,000. And after everything we've just covered, that call actually makes a lot of sense, and it's not far-fetched by any means. Look at what's happening right now. Ethereum is deflationary. That means ETH is getting more scarce. Even some of the biggest names in finance are starting to say it might be a better asset than Bitcoin. In my opinion, it's probably going to outperform Bitcoin over the next 6 months. I think that's for sure. At the same time, you got this arms race amongst public companies and big institutions. Everyone is moving to lock up as much ETH as they possibly can, pulling it off the market, chasing yield, and reporting the results straight to Wall Street. And what's absolutely wild to me is just how quiet things are. Volatility is at multi-year lows. In crypto, that kind of calm usually means something big is about to happen, but most people aren't paying attention. Ethereum is quickly becoming the foundation for tomorrow's capital markets. The kind of institutions are building right now. Now, you've seen what's happening with ETH. Which do you guys prefer? Ethereum or Bitcoin or a mixture of both? What's your ratio? I want to know in the comments below, guys. And let me know. I got a lot of comments yesterday about the TV. Some loved it, some hated it, some liked it, some didn't like it, some were neutral. So I made it look like a painting today. And I chose this one because right after this, I'm going on NASDAQ, the Trade Talk show. And I just think it's like, should be patriotic for it, right? So let me know in the comments below, guys, if you like the painting style. I think it looks like this one looks a lot better than yesterday's thing, right? Because it has like this natural border and whatever. So I'll keep playing with it. But guys, if you got a lot of value from today's video, if you are holding ETH, if you rotated with us, if you appreciate the channel, it just you could do me a solid. It costs you nothing. Destroy that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share this with a friend, a family, a loved one. That is a great way to help the channel, and it costs you guys nothing. And remember, guys, stay sharp, stack your Satoshis and stack some ETH, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.